Hi everybody, welcome to this general playthrough video for the Players Championship here on the channel. It's the brand new Sawgrass course in the Golf Clash game. Very exciting it is too. Please give me a thumb up and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Get that bell button switched on. As always with all the rookie content here on the channel, we're using true rookie clubs only. All 9 holes coming up with replays. We'll have the overviews on screen so you can get familiar with the orientation of these holes as well. Plenty of things to help you get started finding your way around these holes. Bear in mind you will need to tweak the spins and the adjustments slightly depending on what tournament wind directions you get. Loads more Sawgrass content on the channel this week. Check it all out. Here we go. We start with the par 4 and we've got 2 options here. Firstly, the layup option. You will need some right spin on your drive as well as some right curl. I'm going with the Quasar here. 4 top spin, 2 right spin. If you've got a katana though, that will help as well, because even with the side spin 2 ball and some curl, I'm a little bit close to the left rough, so I would, if possible, recommend you to play with a katana or a kingmaker. We are adjusting max plus 10 and we're going to go with some curl to the right, playing with half a ball here. If you've got a bit more, you won't need a side spin 3 ball, but trying to keep this more appropriate for true rookie clubs. Bouncing nicely on the fairway. As you can see, a little bit over on the left hand side, more curl or more side spin to the right will help. Second shot, we're going to play this one at close to max distance of our short iron. I would rather, if I had the choice, of course the Thorn is my preferred, but you can play with other short irons as well. 2 backspin, leaving the ball guide intentionally short because of course we don't have a fully developed ball guide here with true rookie clubs. And here you can see I'm just aiming a little bit left of pin because there is a bit of crosswind going to push us into the right hand side. We're near max distance of club, so I'm going to play this one max plus 10. Maximum distance 10% elevation. You might need slightly less in other wind angles. Kind of the crosswind does affect the path of the ball a little bit more on this one. So you could maybe reduce that down to 5% if you've got more of a direct headwind or tailwind. But anyway, decent look there, needed a bit more offset, but a good chance for an eagle on this par 4. Now, if you have tailwind angle off the tee, you can go aggressive if you like. 4.5 topspin, 2 bars side spin to the right, stretching out and finding the position with the ball guide in the middle of that narrow section of fairway. We are going to adjust max plus 10, of course. If you've got a berserker, you can use that. But if you've won some of these brand new TPC Sawgrass balls with extra needle stability, then you could use one right here. A little bit of curl to the right, not much though. Just make sure you hit perfect. Great balls either side will risk the rough. So this is very much a case of if you want to have a go for it, then do so. It leaves you a very nice wedge. If not, of course, you've got the layup option as well. On this par 3, I'm going to suggest you play on the left hand side with the long iron. 2 backspin, 1 right spin here. We don't need too much right spin at all, but you will need a bit of backspin. The green slopes from the left towards the pin over to the right, and if you go too far to the right, you get a bit of a glitchy roll. You'll end up a fair distance past the pin. It won't risk the birdie, but you want to try and play for the hole in one. So I'm offsetting deliberately to the left hand side with my ball guide. Max plus 10 is the adjustment here. Even though we're not at max distance of club, in all wind angles you're going to play this one with your long iron. So max plus 10, and then we are finding a very nice line there for the hole in one on this par 3. Now with the par 5 here, it's all about getting to the right spot on the fairway. I like the quarterback for the accuracy. I'm going here with 2.9 topspin, that's max with my quarterback level 6, and 1 bar side spin to the right, white ring touching the rough on the left. Different levels of club you might need to tweak as well. If you don't have the quarterback in a decent level, you can of course play with the extra mile, but you might need to vary your setup point here. Max plus 10, pushing back up to max. We need a power 3 ball really for the second shot rather than the drive. You could make this drive with an extra mile and a power 1 ball, but I like the quarterback for the ball guide and accuracy, and I'm liking the power 3 ball for the second shot. The idea here is to drive down towards the end of the fairway, And you see there's a gap between the trees there to the pin, and that's where I'm playing into. We want the big dog here, and you've got to make sure that you've got some backspin ready though, especially with tailwind angle. We're going with 4 backspin. If I had a little bit more, I would use it, but we need the big dog for the distance really. You can see I'm at +8, so distance and backspin needed here for this albatross attempt. Max +0. As you can see, there's a little bit of space between the trees. If you're in crosswind though, you might need to employ a bit of left or right spin so that you're not threatening the trees with your adjustment. Hitting the pin, a bit more backspin will be good, but that's the aggressive line for the albatross on this par 5. Onto a par 4 now, and again we're going to need some side spin to follow the shape of the fairway around. We don't need a high power ball though, thankfully. We can do this one with a quasar, 1 bar of top spin and 2 bars side spin to the right, yellow ring touching the rough on the right with our extra mile. Adjustment here, maximum distance, 10% elevation. Setting up nicely away from the rough so that I'm not going to risk it if I do happen to catch a minor great right. And we're going to play with a bit of curl to the right as well. In the end, I go with outer wall right curl. So the edge of that quasar is touching the outside wall of the adjustment ring to the right. Perfect ball, and it's going to take the shape of the fairway nicely. And we're coming up towards the end of the fairway, but not risking the rough. 320 yards. Second shot, we're going to play with our short iron once again. You can go at it directly as I do here, playing with a couple of bar of backspin. There is room to land here with the backspin and not worry about adjusting off the end of the platform. If you're feeling fancy and you've got a better ball guide, you could go for the max backspin approach as well. Bouncing beyond the pin and rolling back, it's up to you. But I'm about mid-distance of club, so I'm playing this one mid-distance, 10% elevation, obviously. Playing over the water there, the ball guide and the path of the ball is exposed a little bit more. So I'm just going to add 10% onto this one. There's a bit of crosswind as well, might need a tweak with other wind angles. But centre the ball nicely, and the green is very flat here, so it gives you a very good chance for the eagle. If you're enjoying the free content here and want to help support the channel, then you can do so in one of 3 ways. You can click the thanks button directly underneath the video, you can use the PayPal link in the description down below, or you can become a channel member as well. All support of the channel is greatly appreciated. Now with this one, again, it's going to be a very narrow drive. Got to get a good placement to attack the pin for the albatross. Playing with a katana, 4.5 top spin, 3 left spin, and setting up a P2 max distance with our extra by level 6. Half of the red ring inside the rough. Like I said, this is a bit of a narrow drive. There's not much room down this fairway because it kind of curves around a couple of times. So just do what you can, but I want to give you an aggressive look at the albatross here to try and get yourself an advantage ready for the tournament. Max +10, pushing back up there as well to get some distance and going with outer wall curl to the left here. Got to hit perfect on this one though. Bouncing nicely away from the left rough, just skirting by the right rough, and there you can see we're coming into the point at the end of the fairway. Around 360 yards, got a clear shot at the pin. Now, because we got a good distance on the drive, we can attack the pin with the short iron, and we're going to play here with 4 backspin. So if you haven't got the thorn, try and pick your short iron according to the backspin that you will need, obviously, to control the ball in time if you want to go for the albatross. You don't have to, but that would be my recommendation. Aiming at the pin, ball guide a bit short because of the tailwind. It's going to push us the rest of the way. We are close to max distance of our club. I'm playing this one at max distance anyway, 10% elevation, which for me is around 2.4 rings, and then we're going to take our shot. And then you'll see here a very good chance really. It's all about the drive though on this par 5, and indeed others from the Sawgrass course. You've got to have a good placement off your drive. Bouncing off the pin, getting it in for a lovely albatross. Right then, onto this par 3, we're going to play with a long iron in all winds here, and you are going to need between 1 and 3 bars of backspin depending on the wind. I like to set up in the middle of the fairway between the rough and the fringe, and then here it's all about aiming at the pin first And then in the end I offset for the crosswind angle, adding some side spin. I had half a bar of right spin just to correct the wind push rather than kind of aiming first of all away from the pin. I kind of set the back spin first, aim at the pin, and then I add my left or right spin according to what the wind is doing. Nice easy way to set up on this par 3. Mid-distance, 20% elevation, hitting perfect, and you have a good chance here. Smooth fairway to land on, smooth green as well. It's all about getting the backspin right, but we've got that one plumb at the pin for a hole in one. Now with this par 4 we're going to use a club with accuracy. The quarterback is the best, and we're going with a quasar. We're going to go with 2.5 top spin and 2 left spin, and we're moving over to have the white ring touching the rough on the left. Even with this nasty headwind angle, still a very good attempt for an eagle, because you haven't got to push the drive at all. You just want to go up towards the end of the first piece of fairway, and then that will give you a nice clear shot at the green for your approach. Maximum distance, 10% elevation. Going with half a ball of curl as well. If you're playing with a katana, you've got more side spin, you'd need a little bit less curl. All depends what balls you really want to spend on some of these holes. But there you can see we don't want to push it any further than that because the fairway slopes down, but that speed is nicely around 275 yards. Second shot, we're able to play with our thorn because we've got a good distance on the drive, and even with headwind we've got room to adjust. And I'm playing here aiming at the pin, and it's a no spin shot. A very simple setup. Blue ring touching the rough, and we're going to adjust max distance 5% elevation. Generally Sawgrass, especially this hole, pretty flat course, and you're really only tweaking elevation between really 0 and 10% on your par 4s depending on the wind angle. It's not massively downhill, fairly flat, so you either offset and you play with less elevation, or you aim at the pin and play with more, but we got the eagle very nicely. Don't forget to check out my Sawgrass Edition Golden Shot video, letting you know all there is to know about that this week. Go in there, take your free shot, maybe buy some paid ones as well. Win yourself some of the unique TPC Sawgrass balls to conquer the very tricky hole 17. So check that one out, it's on the channel homepage. Very tricky par 5 here. If you've got a kind of daring streak to your gameplay, this is the aggressive route. If not, you should lay up before the tree shadow there, and that will give you a clear shot over the trees. Otherwise, go with the quarterback for the curl as well as the accuracy. We're adding max top spin, max left spin, adjusting max plus 10. Then I'm going with full overpower and full left curl. If you haven't got this amount of left curl, I wouldn't attempt this shot. It is a little bit risky. Like I said, you need the curl though, and you see it follows the shape of the fairway out nicely, clearing the trees, and we've got a shot at the pin. Now we're going to play with the backbone, long iron at max distance here, so that we're not pulling into the min line with the wood club, going with 2 right spin, and the top spin will vary, but we want to aim at the pin as best we can. Like I said, if you're a bit worried about that drive or the trees, just lay up and then play a wood club shot. Your ball guide will go over those 2 trees before the water, and you'll be able to reach the green, or indeed just short of the green, very safely in 2, so that you're not risking any scores here. But the second shot here for reference, playing at max distance, 5% elevation just to help with the wind, and actually got a lovely drop there on this tricky hole. Now we come to the iconic Sawgrass hole, hole 17 in real life, hole 9 here, the island green par 3. We're going with 4 backspin. You need loads of backspin here really to control this one. You will need even more in tailwind, so choose your long iron accordingly. I like to bounce just before the fringe because it gives me a consistent bounce. If you bounce on the fringe, you're going to get a bit of a different bounce with that backspin, so try and bounce at this point if you can. Mid distance, 20% elevation. In crosswind you may need even more than that. The wind does affect this ball quite a lot because we're playing with backspin, gives us a higher second bounce, and of course the ball's in the air longer, there's more chance for that wind to push it around. So this one will need a token or 2 in the tournament scenario. we're getting close here. Tough par 3, a hole in one here is going to be very nice indeed. A very tricky one to finish. Thank you for watching this video on the Players Championship here on the channel. For more help and content, guides, shot sharing, discussion points, check us out on Facebook. Head on over there, search for BK Golf Clash. Totally free to join that group. Over 12,000 members as well. Good luck on this lovely new course. All the best, everybody. See you soon. Bye for now.